Hello everyone, welcome back to Angela's Craft Room. I've got this beautiful peacock card for you today. Now as you can see, there is a lot of fussy cutting, so what I've done to do this card for you today and show you how I did it, I've stamped and fussy cut all the elements out of it for the card that we're going to be making. So we're going to be doing a similar card layout to this, but it's just going to be in different colors. So that's the card, and I've just followed through the little bit of a swirl design inside, but I really like this stamp set. I'll show you which one it is. It's one of Stampin' Up's free stamp sets during celebration, and it's the Beautiful Peacock, and as soon as I saw it I just knew I had to fussy cut it. I just loved it. It took me ages, but that's why I've stamped and fussy cut everything out in preparation. You get 12 stamps in that stamp set, Beautiful Peacock, so it's a fabulous one to get for free. So to get started, I'm going to just grab a little piece of grid paper to protect my surface. Now I'm just going to start off with a piece of basic black, and it's 11 inches long by 4 1/8 of an inch wide, and then scored at 5.5. And then for the inside, it's 5 1/4 by 3 7/8 of an inch, and that's just whisper wide. And I've just used one of the stamps in there, and I've just stamped off the side in different sections. So I'm just going to pop that into the card right now, so that's out the way. And I just love black and Bermuda Bay. It seems to really go well together. So we're going to have some Bermuda Bay feathers, and I've stamped and cut some out in Melon Mambo and basic black as well. So don't know if I'm going to use them all, but we'll just see when we start. The most consuming part is gluing in the feathers. So that's the inside of the card all done. So then we're going to put a piece of Bermuda Bay down, which is 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8. So we're just going to lay that down there. So once again we'll do that. So just eyeball it just so it's as straight as it can be. And I can see I've got a little bit of glue up there, but that will cover with, just use my adhesive rubber just to get that little bit of glue off there. Okay, so now I've prepared actually two choices for the front. So this one is whisper white, and as you can see I've cut out the circle using the layering circle framelits already, and I've embossed it with petal burst. And then this one is the one I'm going to use, and that is done on watercolor paper. Now I don't use the Stampin' Up watercolor paper, I use Bristol Smooth, which is about 270 GSM. It's very, very thick watercolor, and it takes a lot of water, and that's why I like it, and I like the smooth texture of it. Now, to get this creation here, what I've done is I've used the Brusho Crystals that Stampin' Up! Included in their catalogue, 2017 to 2018. So I've only used one colour, and I have shown you how to use these Brusho crystals, but I'll put the link in the comments if you haven't seen how I did use them, because there's a lot of different effects. So I did a very light background because I didn't want it to take away from my peacock. And then I've just used the layering circles to cut that out. So we're just going to decide which way I want it. And I did this yesterday, and I've just let it dry overnight, and it's even changed just from yesterday. Now, I'm just hoping that, oh, by the way, this piece measures 5 inches by 3 5/8 of an inch for those that like me to give the measurements. I'm just thinking whether I should put, maybe I should put, because it's a really thick watercolouring paper, might have to put some Terran tape down, so because I don't think the glue is going to do it. So I just have to reach over and get my Terran tape. And the tricky part with this is getting it down straight. Because once this hits the cardstock, it's not going to move. So I'll just put 2 strips across the top and the bottom, and I'll remove them, and then I'll just put, so by putting it up here close to the circle, that's going to flatten it on your card, hopefully, she says. So I'll just remove those. Just remove those. And I'm just going to remove those. I just find it easier to get it up when I use my tweezers. And then I'm just going to pop a piece down the side on both sides. It's going to get very sticky now. And even though I've stamped and cut out all the elements, it will still take a little while to put the card together, because it's really hard sometimes just to figure out where you want to put those feathers, and I do get a bit fussy, but it'll give you the general idea. But I mean, this card, I'd keep this card for someone very special, because you know, all the cutting out and everything you've done to it. Unless you really like fussy cutting and you do quite a few, you could sell them or donate them to charity. I'm sure they'd be well appreciated. So then I'm going to just take them 2 off, and just take these last 2 off this side. push that glue down a little bit. Just lift it up there. So like that. Now, as I said, the hard part is going to be to get this straight. So I'm just going to have it in the air to start with to see how far Yeah, I'm glad I used the tear and tape. I just don't think the glue would have stuck that down as well, being such a thick watercolour paper. It's a very high quality one. I just love it. So that's the front of our card done. So that's pretty easy. Then what I did was I grabbed the stamp set and show you. I stamped this stamp here in Bermuda Bay, and then I stamped the peacock in basic black, and then I've just layered the peacock onto this piece. Okay, so I'll show you. So like that. So just stamped this one in Bermuda Bay and then stamped the peacock on with basic black, and then I added the peacock with Stampin' Up dimensionals to this piece, and then also on the back I have Stampin' dimensionals as well. And you could even put another row of Stampin' dimensionals on top of these ones if you really wanted it to really stand out and pop off your card. But it pops off the card pretty well this way. Just press that corner down. So just make sure I'm opening the right way. So we're just going to position the peacock about there and just press down on our dimensionals. That's the easy part. Now I might put the sentiment on down here now, because then I know where I'm going to go with my feathers. So with the sentiment, I just cut out in Bermuda Bay cardstock an oval from the layering ovals, and then I stamped the sentiment in Whisper White and also cut that out in with the layering ovals as well. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to pop some more dimensionals on there. About that many should do. And then I just like to poke them with my tweezers because I just find they peel straight off that way. So there's a little tip for you. You just poke them in the middle with the point of your tweezers and it just releases them. So then I'm just going to pop my sentiment down here. And make sure it's straight. So it says today is all about you. So it could be a birthday card, could be literally anything really. So even the card like that would be a beautiful card to give, but we're going to add the feathers. Now here's our feathers. That's the Bermuda Bay ones. That's the Melon Mambo. And then I've just got a couple in basic black. So then you just have to decide where you want them to be. So I start off, because it's basically, and if they're a bit long like that and you want it, and I mean that one will curl down there, but you can just snip off a bit off the end here and tuck it under. So I might just, and then that one was going to go under there. Yep. So I use the multi-purpose glue for all this, and it's handy to have some cotton buds nearby. As I said, this is the most tedious, not when I'm doing a video, but it's just I try and keep my videos to around the 20-minute mark. And you can understand, like, if I hadn't stamped and fussy cut all this out prior to doing the video, it most probably would have been an hour-long video, which would have been ridiculous just with fussy cutting. Let's get that. So, and then you have to remember where you wanted it. So I'm just going to pop that, push that under there. And our first feather is down. So then I'm just going to put that one up there. So I've sort of got like a triangle happening. We'll glue this one in. So, I mean, you could just do a black and white if you wanted to just do, or even just do the one colour, like all in one colour. I just think it adds a bit more interest when you're adding different colour feathers. Because if you think, we have peacocks in Australia, we have wild ones just down the road, so they're quite common in Australia. Now I've just got to stop talking for a minute and think what I'm doing. So I'm just going to have that one there. Yeah, they're quite common in Australia, where we live anyway, in Queensland, Australia. I live in a country town, so that most probably helps. But they are beautiful. They have beautiful feathers. That's why they're beautiful, not because of the noise they make. They make a horrific noise. And if you get them on the roof of your house, a few at a time, we don't get them coming to our house though, where we live here. But when we lived on a large property while our house was being built, they had about 30 wild peacocks, and they used to all get on the roof of the house at once. And it's very annoying in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep. So see how I'm bringing it up into this white area now as well. So I might just bring in And don't worry if you're going on top of the ones that you've already glued, because that's just going to happen, so just adds interest. And as I was saying before, you can just chop a bit off. So I'm just going to chop a bit off there, so it's not quite as long. So that one can go there. And then I might have, and chop a bit off of that one too. Just a bit too long. Okay, so then we'll pop this one down. And some people even say that their feathers are bad luck, but I don't know. Depends if you're superstitious or not, I suppose. So I'm just trying to show you how I do arrange the feathers. There is a method in my madness. So sometimes you can see that you do have to cut the ends off a bit, so that you get different lengths. So there's that one. So that one I need to have a little bit chopped off of it. And I most probably cut out way too many, but I just keep them in a cellophane bag and I can use them next time. So sorry if I'm going off camera, but all I'm doing is putting a bit of glue on. I know it's very annoying, so I apologise if I was going off camera and I just realised that. So we're just going to pop this one, because we've shortened it. So we just pop that one in there like that. And we'll pop this one. So it's good just to, I did do all the, when I did my first one, I did all the arranging, and then I thought it's pretty silly doing that. You should do just a couple of leaves at a time, because you know, you get it all set up how you think you want it arranged, and you've got to take it all off again to glue it all down, and there's no way you'll remember exactly how you wanted it. So we'll just pop him in there. So what you should do first is you should just get most of the holes filled in. And what you could also do is you could actually pop some up. That one's supposed to be glued down. Yes, you could pop some up on dimensionals, which I didn't do with the first card. See how we go. But I do think it's good to have a couple of feathers. And another name for peacocks is lyrebirds as well, L-Y-R-E. So if you're Googling colours, I mean they can be just about any colour really. And I don't want to cover like too much of the Brusho effect background either, because I want that, I don't want to lose that. It's a bit different when you're just embossing it, but when you've gone to the trouble of doing the Brusho effect, you don't want to. So there's just really just a couple of gaps in here, and this is just one that I cut off short, which will go handy in there. So you can see how this isn't a full size one. So then we're just going to sort of like flower arranging really. Yeah, that's good. That one's tucked just underneath the body. So you can see how we're filling in the holes now. So I'm going to just chop that one off because, as I said before, I don't want to cover up too much. So I might put that going that way because I don't want to cover this feather either. I don't want to cover up that feather either. But and then we maybe just one more Melamambo, and as I said, if you really wanted to, you could add more and pop them up on some dimensionals. And really I've just about used nearly all of the ones that I've cut out. I'm not going to have that many left, so because I think what makes this card is the layering of the leaves. It really adds dimension to your card. Now I just want to cover that. Now we'll just cut off that one too. We want to fill in this little spot here. So I'm only going to have like about 5 leaves left over if this is my last one. But I really wanted to show you how I applied the feathers. So you need to cut some off short so that just to fill in those little areas so that they're not all going to be the same. They're coming out at different lengths. And don't worry, as I said, if they're going on top of any of the other colours, that doesn't matter, that's all part of it. And I would even put another one over there because it's a bit sparse there, because I would like to fill in that. So I most probably put, but I won't put any out. You're getting the idea of it. So that's our card for today. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will put, you can see how effective it is with the Brusho Crystals background as well. So I will hopefully remember to put the link to that as well, so you know how that was made. So this was my first one, just with the embossed image, and this is the one we did today with the Brusho Crystals in the background. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll try those techniques, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, and till next time, happy crafting.